Know that I'm throwing a ton of stuff at you at once. The problem that I experience when I watch a video is they go way too fast. I have no idea what they're talking about. I pick up some stuff, I watch it the next day and the next day, and I watch it over and over and over and over, and pretty soon it all starts to make sense. I go back and forth between the video and whatever I'm doing until it makes sense. So this will come to you over time. Now, in the key of C, I don't want to go into too much theory, but in the key of C, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and an octave. The major notes, this is just how it works. The 1, the 4, and the 5 are considered major notes in a key. The 2, the 3, and the 6 are considered minor notes. So if you were going to try to play all the notes, all the chords, actually all the chords in the key of C, let's do, remember I said 1, 4, 5. I said 1, 4, 5 are going to be the major notes in the key. It gets tricky between key and note and chord. 1, 4, and 5 are the major notes of the key of C. And so you could play the major chords in the key of C. And since we know that they are C, F, and G, pretty awesome, huh? You just played a majority of the songs that you'll ever play with some major chords. But you also have minor chords. 2, 3, and 6. And remember I showed you the D, and this was the D minor, because we flatted it, and this was the E major, and this was the E minor, because we flatted it, remember? And I showed you the A, and we flatted it to get the minor. So I'm just going to show you some very simple notes, some very simple chords now, that if you start messing with them, at least you'll be able to maybe not play great or play songs, because you can't play everything with a chord, but we just learned, I just showed you the C, D, E, F, G, A, B, major and minor. So if you were going to do a C major, F major, G major, E minor, A minor, and then you could even go down further and grab the A minor down here. Sounds pretty awesome, doesn't it? Now you're thinking, wow, it's not so hard to do. Do, 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 do. All of that makes piano learning very easy. It is really not that hard to get to the beginning part. I'm not saying this is easy. I am struggling. It takes me 30, 40 minutes to play a 2-minute song trying to coordinate my left and right hand. But I've got the basics. I just showed you the basic theory. I showed you how to play your major and minor chords for the key of C. And once you know that, I showed you how to figure out each note in each key by going your whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So if you were going to do this stuff in the key of G, you would know that, well, let me just show you that. To continue, if we were going to do that in the key of G, remember you would know that G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have G, G is your major, that's the root note. And this is a major note, and this is a major note. So in the key of G, your major notes are G, C, and D. And your minor notes are A, B, and E. I'm not going to mess with the F because I play guitar and it's a little confusing. Those are usually called diminished notes. I don't want to get into that. It will totally throw you off. And the exact same thing applies with, let's see, what do we have? It's the same thing all the way around. So you just have to figure out what your notes are for 1, 3, and 5, or 2, 3, 1, 4, and 5, or 2, 3, and 6. You'll figure out what your major notes are, what your minor notes are, and then you can start playing those. That's why if you start with the key of C, like I've been showing you, and stick with that, you're all on white keys for a while to make life easy. F, G, D, E, we did that F, G, A minor, and there's the B minor, the B major. And then remember, when we want to flat, we flat the third. I'm using the other finger now because I want you to see what I'm doing. So you know your majors and minors. We'll go over that really quick. C, minor, major, major, minor, major, minor. And then, this is going to take you a while to do, but then you got to start messing with the left hand. And it's a little tricky with the left hand. You'll figure it out, or you can go on the internet and watch some of the stuff. But mostly you're going to be doing the same thing with your thumb, middle finger, and pinky again. Here's the C chord. There's the F chord. Can I get that on the camera? Yeah. And the G chord. You can see I'm doing the exact same thing. And then you've got E minor. Remember I showed you it follows the same pattern. A minor. But when you're doing D, remember we had the D, and if you were going to minor it, it's the same thing that we just did. E major, flat the middle, the third. You get around the tripod. F, the exact same thing. 1, 3, 5. That's the major, flat it, minor, the G. Remember that's that first pattern? 1, 3, 5. Flat it with the middle, the minor, G minor, A major, 1, 3, 5, flat the middle, A minor, and then this is the tricky one. I think the camera will show it. It's not as easy to do, at least for me. That's the B, and I'm using these two fingers now. I can't reach that way, that's awkward, and I don't want to do this because then the wrist is twisted, so I'm doing, that's my B major, and if I flat the middle, that's my B minor. So I just showed you how to do all the major chords, all the minor chords on your left hand and your right hand, how to flat things, how to sharpen things. You flat them going downward, you sharpen them going upward. I explained the major and minors are 1, 4, 5, and the minors are 2, 3, 6 in your key, and I explained how to figure out what notes are in your keys by doing the whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half pattern. So you got an incredible amount of theory, and you learn how to label the piano, and you learn how to figure out how to do a lot of stuff. I'm going to show you one more thing, and then I'm going to stop. I don't remember what they call this, but it does sound really cool. There's a name for it. I'm sure somebody will leave me a comment. But what I want to show you is, I'm going to do this in just a couple of the chords, and you should be able to figure it out from there. It's really easy. It's fairly standard. It follows the same pattern all around. So here we have, we're going to do the chord C, C chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we know 1, 3, 5. We've done that over and over again, right? So we have 1, 3, 5. Now we've got C over here. 1, 3, 5. C, E, G, which makes up our C chord, and then when you go up to the next octave, you have that next C. So what I want you to do is I want you to get rid of the 3. Don't play the 3. I want you to play 1, 5, and then the next note. So it's the exact same note. You're playing your 5th note in your key, and you're playing the root note, which is C, and then you're playing the next root note. So it takes a while to do, but it sounds really cool. And that's something that you will be learning, or it will probably come up later on down the line. It gives you a different sound, so instead of playing that all the time, you can come up with a... and it seems to follow the same pattern all the way along. Oh, I always slip on the pinky. It's very hard for me to drag that pinky, so I mess up a lot. But it's the same pattern all the way through. So if you're playing a C over here, you're going to be playing a D over here, and an E over here, and an F. You're going to be playing it all the way through. But you want to get on the 5th. So remember, we did 1, 3, 5. You want to move this middle finger over to your 5, and you want to move this over to your... Is this holding in the... Yeah, we can still see it. I've got the tripod here. Hold on. Just moved it down. I still have the tripod in the way, but let me try to do this. So we're still doing the 1, 3, 5. We were doing the 1, 3, 5, but now we're doing the 1, 5. It sounds much better there. And then we'll carry the same thing up. We'll do the 1, 5, and carry it up. And that gets a little tricky with the B. The B is always the hard one. We're going to carry the B over there. We're going to carry the B over here. But the middle finger is going to go to here. Because remember, remember we're doing 1, 3, 5. So we're canceling out the 3 now and playing only the 5. So we're doing 1, and then we're doing the 5, and then we're playing with the pinky. Okay, the tripod's in the way now. So that's another really cool thing to learn, and it will make your playing experience, your practicing, much better. I think with everything that I've covered, this should get you through weeks and weeks, if not months, of studying and practice just to be able to do this. There is a lot that I just covered, and if you want to go pay money and go get lessons, that's cool. If this helped you a little bit, maybe you want to go on that channel page again, click on the support button and donate something if I helped you out, if you can afford it. And the other thing that I want to show you really quick, let me get the tripod out of the way again, is to try to work with both hands. Wow, this tripod is all over the place. Try to work with both hands. Try to train your hands. And then if you want to go get some lessons or grab a book, that's cool too. But let's do... There's the G chord. Try to do the G chord, C chord, I'm going to go up further, G, let's do the E minor. Now it's starting to sound like something, isn't it? You're saying, wow, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm making some music here. So let me do a little bit of messing around. Everything that I just showed you, and believe me, I don't know what I'm doing with piano. I'm still learning. But C. Here's the major. Remember I taught you the 1, 4, and 5? C, 4 and 5. C major, F major, G major. 2 would be a minor, D minor, E minor, A minor. So let's do major, major, minor. So that is the idea behind the most basic stuff you are going to need to know. And you can also, remember I showed you the one, I took out the 3 and I did the, oh, let's do the C. I'm stumbling on my words. Remember I did the 1, 3, 5 for C? You can do the same thing with your left hand. You get rid of the 3 and you just play the 5 and then you go to the next octave. The exact same thing. Learn what I just taught you. It will give you a real good experience with training your hands how to work. That's the whole... You don't need to be playing Twinkle Twinkle in the first day. You need to learn how to use your hands. One other thing I want to show you, and this takes some practice. I didn't know how to do it. It's going to take some practice. You're going to have to go slow and figure it out. You normally want to cross over at your middle finger when you're on your left hand. So you don't want to go and then say, how do I get to D? How do I get to D? How do I move this thumb over here? Well, you really can't. The only thing you can do is shove this thumb over here. So what you want to do, if you can, is you want to be aware of when you get this middle finger over here and you cross under. 1, 2, 3, cross under. 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you cross over. And just take some time and mess around with it until you can start seeing patterns. It's a little tricky over here because what do? 1, 2, 3, and you cross under. And you cross over. And when you are going to be learning your scales, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And that's what they're going to have you do at paying $50 an hour or whatever, $35 an hour to go to a lesson. They're going to tell you to go home and do this, so why not just go home and do it on your own and get to a good learning point before you think about getting lessons, or you just think about advancing on your own with a good book. So if we do, remember I told you the whole half? Do that with your right hand, do that with your left hand. I think I've covered more than enough. Again, thumbs up, subscribe, like if you want. If you want to link this to any channel, that would be awesome. My videos help me out with my life a little bit, and I like to teach people. I've got some other cool videos online. This is my first piano video, but if you want to look up some of my guitar videos, I've got some really cool theory. I explain most of the theory in this video that you will ever need. But check those out. I've got some really cool videos on how to repair toilets and patch concrete and change patch wallboard and lots of other stuff. If nothing else, the only reason I do this is because it took me a long time to learn most of the stuff that I picked up, and if I can make it easier for someone to learn from it, good. Sadly, this video is probably 30 minutes or so, and the average view on my videos is 3 minutes and 45 seconds. So I don't know if you got to the end of this, but if you did, leave me a message, good or bad. And if nothing else, practice, 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 practice. And don't stress out. You're going to get it. Like I say, when I practice, I laugh. It's hysterical because I can't get this stuff. And it's funny to watch how my brain messes with me. But the next day I play it, and the next day I play it, and pretty soon I can do what I want it to do. And then I'm lame on something else. Stick with it, practice, make it fun. Don't stress out. Enjoy it. Good luck.